Give them time. Well, here we are. Another Alligator podcast. I hope you enjoyed the one about with my son, Cowboy Donnie, and the Ukraine situation. I got a lot of responses from that. People said they were pleased to hear an intelligent conversation and people who seemed to know what they were talking about, well informed. I think it is. That's the type of thing that I'm going to do. Period. You know, I'm not going to get on the political side very often, but if I do, if you come in with conspiracy theories, I'm going to just destroy you, really. But anyway, let me start off here. I was talking with somebody recently about the Empress of the Blues. Her name was Bessie Smith. Before Billie Holiday and all of those people, Bessie Smith was the queen. She performed all over the world. And Bessie was a very crazy woman. She smoked cigars, hung out in the speakeasy with the men all night long. I think when it came to love, she played both sides of the fence. She didn't care. And whenever they would criticize her, Bessie Smith thumbed her nose at society her whole life. She didn't give a hoot. And this song that she sang very much reflects her attitude. And you know what? Mine too. Okay. That's cool. I would rather do than be right here with you, singing the blues, you hear me? It ain't nobody's business what I do. And let me tell you one more thing. If I want to go to church on Sunday, and then I go to the cabaret on Monday, it ain't nobody's business what I do. And let me tell you one more thing. If I go to my refrigerator, I got both ham and bacon. The next day, there's nothing shaking. It ain't nobody's business what I do. And I had to throw this in myself. If I want to drink milk in the morning, cause I know it's right, and then I go to the honky-tonk and drink liquor all night, it ain't nobody's business what I do. Now let's talk about the alligator. I do what I want, when I want, where I want, with who I want, and if I don't want, I say I don't, and don't try to convince me cause I won't. Cause I already told you, I don't. I do what I want slow, when I want, where I want, with who I want, and if I don't want, slow. I said I don't, and don't try to convince me cause I already told you, fool, I don't. Bessie Smith, the Empress of the Blues. Now, I got a good friend of mine I'm going to bring out here in a moment. I'm sort of reluctant to, but I'm going to bring him out. His name is GIL Rubio. He's been a friend of mine since I first arrived in Monterey about 26 years ago. I came in here like a hurricane. Monterey had seldom seen a guy like me. I was pretty wild back in those days. I was decided to get off of drugs and alcohol and all that stuff, but I went for a few weeks while I was deciding that. And I had a big blowout, I'm telling you the truth. But anyway, Gil I was fortunate enough to have him helped me out with my band for I don't know how long, year or two, a couple of something.
2.5.
2.5 years. My goodness, I put up with him that long. But anyway, I've always had a lot of respect for Gil and his wife Roxana. I met them both at the same time. That's the reason that he still has her, because he was my friend and I wasn't going to try to steal her from him. Otherwise that she'd have been gone. But Roxana's going to throw something at me over here soon. But anyway, let's bring on my friend GIL Rubio. Come on, grab a seat, Gil. Now, Gil.
Gator, my man. Yes, sir.
Your band, Red Beans and Rice.
Yes, sir.
The distinction this band has is I think they have won the best band in Monterey for up teen years, it seems like. ever since they came out. And blues band. Although I'm sure that by this time they do other styles besides just the blues. But what can you tell us about Red Beans and Rice, my friend?
Wow. First of all, I started the band when I was in your band. John Paul and Jason, John Paul and Jason McIntosh and I were playing in your band at the time. And I was doing some other stuff on the side. And remember, I was a DJ on KZU.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
And Sherman Lee Davis had a blues show, and he started a blues jam at the brewing company that you used to play at a lot. And so we were going down there a lot, my cousin Rick Flores and I, and then we met a bunch of people there. And then actually what happened was one of the DJs at KZU wanted to do a recording for his girlfriend. So he brought Jason and Gary Struthers over, and so he sang and played rhythm guitar, and I did the lead guitar and engineered and everything and recorded this thing for him. But I said, man, these two guys are great, man, the bass player and drummer. So I wrote a few songs and asked them if they wanted to come and play, and then got together with Big Steve. Remember Big Steve?
Yes, powerful blues singer.
Oh, man, it sounded like Howlin' Wolf, and he was from Mississippi. Man, Howlin' Wolf was one of my heroes. So I said, hey. So actually, we did a recording, and we did the rhythm tracks and stuff, and then brought Steve in, and they had never even met each other. So that's kind of how the band started. It was funny, but it was a good deal. And then, so I got Sherman involved, and it just grew up to 6 pieces. And we started with Chicago blues and kind of Texas swing, and then it has evolved from there to what we do now, a little more New Orleans flavored stuff. And the whole reason I named it Red Beans and Rice is because I loved playing the Zydeco with you and stuff. And so I didn't want to lose that ability to play all kinds of different kinds of music.
Yeah. That's it. People ask me, they go, Alligator, why do you play so many different styles of music? And my reply is always the same and very honest. If I had to play 1 or 2 styles of music, it would bore me to death.
I know.
I can't do that. And people say, why do you play so many instruments? Because if I had to play one instrument, it would do the same thing. It would just bore me to death. I'm a big fan of Red Beans and Rice. And like I say, they've won Best Band in Monterey for year after year after year after year.
We got 16 awards from that. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
And you got an award from California also, didn't you?
Yeah, well, what we got was a California State Certificate of Recognition from the California State Senate. So that was like, wow. Yeah, that was. I mean, that was on our 20th anniversary. Yeah. So that was a real honor. It still blows me away when I see it, and it's just wow. I'm thankful. I'm just thankful for everybody for having supported us all this time and liking the music. So that's a biggie. But Gator, I just want to mention something right here. When I was playing with you, we never knew what you were going to do. You never operate from a set list. No. And it was like we'd go places and we'd have to pick up a drummer sometimes or whatever. Remember?
Oh yeah.
And it'd be like the guys going, "Well, what are we going to play?" So whatever Gator wants to. It's like we had no idea what you were going to do from one song to the next, and that was always so fun about it. And I just want you to know I really enjoyed that.
Well, see, my attitude has always been just hang on, that's it. Just like hang on, I think who was the gentleman who was he lived in Monterey. Anyway, I can't remember his name. He had something to do with the Grateful Dead. He made a quote about me, but since I can't remember his name, I'm not going to do it.
Oh, Rock Scully?
Rock Scully. Rock Scully. He was the Grateful Dead's manager for about 30 years. And he used to come to my shows because his friend John Paul was playing bass with me. He would come to my shows. And he wrote me a thing. He says, you use this in your advertising. And it was basically... was built around the fact that I don't use a set list. I don't, like the Dead. I don't use a set list, and you never know what Alligator's going to do. He could be walking up and down the bar playing his fiddle, or he could be running out in the streets doing something. But, being unpredictable has always been one of my things. Gil, where are you guys playing now? Where can the audience get a chance to? Oh, and you have your CDs out. You really should let them know about your music.
Oh, yeah. Well, we have 7 CDs. So the last one we put out was in 2018, I guess. Had 8 originals on it and 14 songs total. Well, 13 songs. One of them was an acoustic version of one of the songs on there. But it went really well. And so, yeah, we've got 7 CDs out there. One of them was actually the 20th anniversary CD. So it had, it was called... 13 from 20 and 5. So 13 original songs from 20 years and 5 CDs. And so that went over really well as well. And so we've been real fortunate, to be able to have a lot of good people come through the band and stuff and put out some tunes and they get played on the radio. We get played on K-Pig quite a bit and actually across the states too. And what was kind of cool was that we've got some, Steve, our manager, got some contacts from people back in the Midwest and even Australia and Germany that these bands wanted to play some of our music and stuff. And then we were getting radio play and obviously in Australia and Germany too, or they wouldn't have heard it. So it was kind of cool. It was a neat thing, so it was kind of I'm not even 1,000 there, but it's nice to know that your music at least gets out there and people are hearing it and stuff. So you should know that.
And how could, yeah. Now, how would people be able to get a chance to hear your music? What venues are they able to get your music?
You mean to purchase it we can,
or listen to it or whatever.
You can go to our website redbeans.com. Although it's probably in a bit of disarray right now. We're trying to get it rebuilt a little bit. But you can purchase it there. There is some also on CD Baby, and then you can contact us, or you can contact our manager as well, Steve Agnini at SLV Management, and get in touch with him and see what we can come up with for you.
Wonderful.
Or catch us at gigs. So.
I wish we were set up to play some of your music here. And in other words, that's right. Let me take this chance to tell you, Gil, don't be nervous. I want you to make yourself at home. Okay?
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Make yourself at home. This is his house. But anyway, make yourself at home, son.
Thank you.
But GIL Rubio has always been one of my favorite people. And he even got to hang out with some of my old friends, Guitar Curtis Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
Guitar Curtis Anderson's sister was married to Little Walter for a while. So he actually got to perform with Little Walter when he was coming up. Guitar Curtis Anderson never made a record on his own his whole career. And both of us were trying to get him to do one.
Yeah.
Just as he was getting ill toward the end, but he didn't make it. One of the strongest bluesmen I've ever heard, Guitar Curtis Anderson. But unfortunately, there is nothing left behind.
Yeah. He was great. He was a lot of fun. I thank you for the opportunity to meet him. We had a blast playing together. Him and Chester D. and Cool Papa. And the Roots Music
the
series that you used to have at the Brewing Company.
I used to do a Roots Music series, and I brought in Cool Papa and Chester D. and Guitar Curtis doing one show. And Cool Papa was the cool guy.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, he was so cool that he was singing, and then I said, Curtis, take a solo. Curtis solos, and when it comes back to Cool Papa to sing, he's asleep. That's how cool Papa was. He went to sleep right in the middle of the solo. We had to hit him in the side and wake him up, and he started singing, you know. But anyway, we had some fun. We had some fun. Let me tell you, those are the wild days.
We had some big fun of a lot of those gigs, man. Believe me, we got some stories.
Yeah,
I got some stories I could tell you, but maybe inappropriate.
Yeah. And some of them might have to kill you. But anyway, I'm so glad I could come by and have you be a part of this. What I want you to do is just sit here with me for a minute. No. You want to go over there because you got to work.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. See, he's putting me to work, folks, and not paying me. I already know that.
I'm going to leave just for 1 minute. I was just chatting with somebody about a old friend of mine who used to play with me. He was a member of GIL's band before, John Paul, and he passed away. And for those of you who are listening, I gave a tribute to them during one of my shows, and I missed one person. When I first came to Monterey, I had a very talented young bass player named Greg Copper. Greg also passed away a couple of years ago. His mother, he was living with his mom, I think, and she got the coronavirus, and she passed away, and a month later, he passed away right behind her. They were such good, him and his mom were so close that I could see after losing her that he followed pretty close after. But anyway, John Paul we were at a place in Nevada. I rode the rodeos when I was young. And John Paul comes to me and he says, Alligator, he says, see that old guy over there, the old cowboy? And I go, yeah. He said, he used to ride the rodeos with your dad. Now, I didn't know my dad until I was a grown man, but I tell you what, he never rode a rodeo. So I go over to him and he looks at me. He says, yeah, I rode with your daddy. His name was Alligator too. And I said, yeah. He said, yeah, in Cheyenne at the Frontier days. And he said, that sucker was drunk and he rode the bull with his leg broke, and he didn't care. And I said, listen, my dad never rode a rodeo. I said, that was me. And he stands up off the counter and he walks all the way around me and he says, what happened to you? You look just like you did 40 years ago. He says, what kind of voodoo do you got going on here? So in honor of my cowboy roots, I'm going to do a little bit of cowboy music for y'all. We're going to do this. Land under starry skies above, don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Hey! Don't fence me in. Be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please. Hey! Don't fence me in. Let me tell you. Turn me loose, let me straddle my old saddle beneath the western sky. Ride my cayuse and wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. Ride to the ridge where the west commences. Gaze at the moon till I lose my senses. Can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Here we go. Turn me loose, let me straddle my old saddle. Yeah, beneath the western skies. Ride my cayuse and wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. Yeah, ride to the ridge where the west commences. Gaze at the moon till I lose my senses. Can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Hey! Can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Can't look at hobbles, can't stand fences. A little bit of cowboy music, y'all. That song was wrote by, of all people, God, I can't think of his name. But anyway, the furthest thing from a cowboy you could find, he didn't know which side of the horse to get on. Cole Porter. Cole Porter, believe it or not, wrote that song. The only cowboy song he wrote in his entire career, and all of us cowboys absolutely love it. I think Gene Autry was infatuated with that. He was probably the first one who recorded My Hero. I wish we could have played some of Gil's. Gil, would you come back here for a minute? I wish we could have played some of Gil's music for you, because I'm telling you, Gil is an exceptional songwriter. As a band leader, he's a real band leader. My thing is, follow me, hang on for dear life, and just go wherever I go. But but Gil does something that amazes me. And listen. He rehearses.
It's like a 4-letter word to him. It's a 4-letter word to him. I'm telling you.
And I just wish you could hear his music. I want you guys to go to the Red Beans and Rice site and listen to some of his music. Purchase the music, because if you're into the blues, you're going to love Red Beans and Rice. I mean, you're absolutely going to love them. I can't say enough about my friend here. My son, you saw my son on the other podcast I did the other week. My son, absolutely. This is like Uncle Gil here, So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that this gentleman is the real deal, Class A. Okay, and I wouldn't say that otherwise than in a context like that, because when we're together, I would never say something like that to him. His head would be that big.
We know each other too well, Gator.
So here's what I want to do. I just wanted to say another little thing about Gil, and I want you to get a good look at him. This is Gil Rubio, Red Beans. How many members do you have in your band now?
6.
And that's instruments. Tell me which one.
Oh, so we got bass, drums, keyboards, guitar, sax, and vocal.
Wonderful.
Yep.
So listen, I'm gonna do one more little. No, I'm not. I'm not. This is it. I forgot I don't have my guitar to do that song.
You want one?
No. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna end this podcast here. I hope you have enjoyed it. The next one coming up is gonna be Donnie and I discussing. The subject is going to be I love my flag. Discussing the fact that one section of America seems to have usurped the American flag. And the other side, shall we say, I'm not calling sides, but anyway, the other side has got to realize that you can't look at the flag as some otherwise symbol of anything else but freedom. Even though we've had our shortcomings, of course, but still the American flag, I respect the American flag, because it's a symbol of something that we are still striving to become. And to have people marching with the American flag saying that they're patriots, and I see beside them people marching with Nazi flags and Confederate battle flags, that sort of disturbs me just a little bit, because our flag should never be associated with anything to do with Nazis or any type of insurrectionist stuff. But anyway, that's just my opinion. And what is my opinion? We know how opinions are. I'm going to get back with Gil again because Gil is also very much involved in the church.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
And I'm going to do another podcast with Gil, and we're gonna talk about that also. The importance of religion in our society. But anyway, that's another subject that we will do. Okay.
As a matter of fact, we're going to go play the Spanish Mass this evening.
Oh, wonderful!
Yeah. So my wife gets
and
in
then
there
you teach at
too.
you teach at the church also, don't you?
No, I don't do that anymore. I used
You
to
don't-
teach
yeah.
religious education. I did that for a number of years. Fifth graders and 10th graders. Fifth graders were great, man. I learned a lot from them. And then 10th graders, I needed to buy a helmet.
Listen, when we do this thing, I was someone who was famously anti-religious most of my life, and about 15 years ago, I came to the conclusion that if I looked around myself and I saw a lot of stuff wrong in the world, I remembered that when I was a young person, God was really important to all Americans. Now, you know, I'm not trying to preach anything, but I think that whatever your religion is, I'm not preaching any kind of religion, but whatever you have where you're in contact with a higher power, it seems to be the glue that held society together for hundreds of years. And we've gotten so far away from that. That's the reason now you see people doing things that, years ago you wouldn't even dream of doing.
Nope.
Because you had these barriers that religion kept you within. But anyway, that's a time for another subject. Listen, I'd like to thank everybody for being here for this podcast. Get ready for me and Donnie to discuss our flag next time. And all I can say is, happy trails.
Thank you, Gator.
Okay.
You know I love you, brother.
That's that.